All right. So, sorry. All right. So to add to the claims that Aaron was making about it being rights, that people have a right to choose their own death, Paige said that people. She mentioned the Hippocratic Oath, and yes, the Hippocratic Oath is the oath taken by many physicians that they will not hurt their patients. But I quote this from the Hippocratic Oath, the modern version, of course, and it says, "I will remember that there is an art to medicine as well as science, that the warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug." So this is basically stating that there needs to be sympathy taken into account in the decision making, and people should have a right to end their life how they see fit, peacefully and painlessly. Paige also mentioned that there was the notion that doctors may have too much power and that they may be playing God. And she mentioned that doctors may have too much power and may make their own choice and their own judgments, that they should euthanize the people for them. And this is not true, because in no such way this is playing God, because the act of actually keeping one alive by tubes in their body, medication, that is also just prolonging the suffering, and I don't believe that's also part of God's plan. It's neither humane or divine. So that is to refute that statement. Life and the right that someone should end their own life is a private matter, and it should be seen as such. Death is a private matter, and if it's not hurting anyone, the state should not interfere with these actions. So basically, that people are aware of what they're doing and they consent to it. Also, she said that doctors also may have too much power, and to address that, using Oregon as my example, Oregon, they have the set of rules, and Oregon's rules to administer physician-assisted suicide include that that there has to be multiple consents from the person who wants physician-assisted suicide. So by saying that, the people are primarily sure that they want to go through with this. And as Aaron said before, and adding on to his, people need to be checked for depression. And if there is a chance that they are depressed, and that may influence their decision, that they have to go through a psychological test. So that also goes against what she said about doctors playing God and having too much power. It's more based on what the person that has the terminal illness it's their choice. And so along with the right to end suffering, I'm quoting this from the American Civil Liberties Union. They said that the right of a competent terminally ill person to avoid excruciating pain and embrace a timely and dignified death bears the sanction of history and is implicit in the concept of orderly liberty. Basically stating that people have the right to decide whether or not they want to die, and the fact that they're competent in their choices and they're aware of what they're doing further proves that euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide should be legalized. And this also goes in comparison to saying that women have the right to have abortions and or to refuse treatment. It's pertaining to someone else's life. And that also, she brought up that the people that brought in that die in pain, 55% of terminally ill patients die in pain and suffering, but it is not limited to that. There's also the dignity of people and the burden on their families. That also goes into the decision of people that want physician suicide because they feel like they're a burden on their family, and the idea of dignity. People lose their control of their bodily functions, and so vomiting, urination, feces, and other things like that, they lose their bodily controls, and people don't want to be remembered as that. People want to be remembered as the happy person they were, and they don't want to be remembered as a person that was dependent, losing their bodily functions, and died slowly. And this is a quote from a man named Faye Gersh. He was a senior advisor at the Final Exit Network, which basically promotes physician-assisted suicide. And he says, at the Hemlock Society, we get calls daily from desperate people who are looking for someone like Jack Kevorkian, which is a person who thoroughly supported euthanasia and was put in jail because he did euthanize many people, and to end their lives, which have lost all quality. Americans should have a right guaranteed, like the European Declaration of Human Rights, the right that no one should be forced to suffer. It should be considered as much of a crime to make someone live without justification that does not want to continue as suffering without consent. Basically stating that people should not be forced to suffer. Along with the solvency claims, what Aaron said, he mentioned the medical reasons. And apart from organ donation and saving multiple people's lives, there's also the idea that allowing euthanasia, well, people that want to die, their rooms are not open, and now nurses and doctors have more attention to these people. So people that are actually savable can now be saved and have more attention paid to them, since there is less of a congestion in the local hospitals. And to finish it off, this is from the BBC News, a column from Medical Resources. In most countries, there's a shortage of health resources. As a result, some people who are ill and could be cured are not able to get speedy illness to facilities they need. Basically saying that there is a shortage of facilities and congestion, and that's it. Thank you.